بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام بمحمد ومن تبعهم بإحسان الدين. Alhamdulillah, inshallah, in this video here, we're going to be speaking about the Ajwaf verb. So the verb that's Ajwaf is the verb that has as its ayn kalima a weak letter. As its ayn kalima a weak letter. A weak letter is one of the huruf al-'alla, so waw or a ya or alif. Now, in this group of verbs, we have three different subgroups. We have group AU, group EA, and group AE. Group AU is like qala yaqulu, so the fatha, the equivalent of it, which is the alif here, will change to a dhamma or a waw, qala yaqulu. Here, and then after that, we also have group EA, nama yanamu. So nama yanamu was originally nawima, but then it changed to a alif for morphological reasons, so it becomes nama and then yanamu. Then we have group AE, Sara, Yasiru, and that's very clear. So how do these different groups function in the mudara'? So in the mudara', the way that it functions is that the Ajwaf verb in the mudara' will either keep its ayn kalima or drop its ayn kalima. So it's either going to drop its middle letter or it's going to keep it. It's going to drop the ayn kalima in antunna and hunna. So when you conjugate the Ajwaf verb in the mudara' with the pronouns antunna or hunna, the ayn kalima, whether it be a waw if it's group AU, or a alif if it's group EA, or a ya if it's group AE, whichever the case may be, is going to drop it. So it's going to be taqulna, yaqulna, tasurna, yasirna, and so on and so forth. And all other pronouns, it's going to keep its ayn kalima. So ana, anta, antum, the list goes on. So aqulu, taqulu, and so on and so forth. So how does this look like? So for all of these, it's going to keep it except for the red, which is hunna, is going to lose it. So yaqulu, taqulu, yaqulani, taqulani, yaquluna, yaqulna. So here we drop the ayn kalima. And we can يقص على ذلك. You can change this verb, for example, nama, so it would be yanamu, tanamu, yanamuna, tanamuna, yanamuna, yanumna. And then for the mukhatab, the second person, we have anta, anti, and so on and so forth. Taqulu, taqulina, taqulani, taqulani, taquluna, taqulna. And then for أنا نحن it stays, so أقول نقول وقس على ذلك and say أنام ننام. So that is how it functions in the mudara'. It's going to drop its ayn kalima if it's antuna or hunna, which we've covered here, and is going to keep it in all other scenarios. Now, likewise, what we need to take into consideration is when the mudara' verb is majzoom. When the mudara' verb is majzoom. So the Ajwaf verb in the mudara', when majzoomun, will also have two different scenarios, if you will. And one scenario is going to drop the ayn kalima, and the other scenario is going to keep the ayn kalima. So it's going to keep the ayn kalima in af'al al-khamsa. So af'al al-khamsa are those that end with thubut al-noon. So yaf'alani, taf'aluna, yaf'aluna, taf'alina, and so on and so forth. So anti, antum, and those other ones are going to keep the ayn kalima. We're just going to drop the noon at the end, so it becomes taquli, taquli, and taqulu, and taqula, yaqula, and so on and so forth. Now, for all other pronouns, it's going to drop the ayn kalima. It's going to drop the ayn kalima. So you're going to put a sukun at the end. That's very clear. Lam aqul, for example, and lam taqul, for example. So this is the Ajwaf verb in the mudara' when it's majzoom. If it's af'al al-khamsa, it's going to keep the ayn kalima, and you're just going to drop the thubut at the end. And if it's not from af'al al-khamsa, then you're going to put a sukun at the end, and you're going to have to drop the ayn kalima because obviously there's iltiqa sakanin that happens, and I think that's fairly clear. So that is the mudara', how the Ajwaf verb functions in the mudara'. If it's not majzoomun, it's going to follow this rule right here. It's going to drop the ayn kalima in antunna and hunna. It's going to keep them, and it's going to keep the ayn kalima in all the other pronouns. And if it is majzoom in the mudara', then it's going to follow this other scenario here, which is going to drop the ayn kalima in all the other pronouns except for af'al al-khamsa, where it's going to keep the ayn kalima, but it's going to drop the thubut al-noon. Now let's go on to the Ajwaf verb in the amr. The Ajwaf verb in the amr is very simple. For group A, you would look like this: قل, قولي, قولا, قولا, قولوا, قلنا. It's very simple. For group EA, it looks something like this: سر, سيري, سيرا, سيرا, سيروا, سرنا. And then for group AE, it will be nam, nami, nama, namu, namna. And then in a very brief sense is the Ajwaf verb in the mudara' and in the amr and how it functions. I hope this video was fairly clear. جزاك الله خير for listening. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.